Now let's jump to maybe some of the bigger topics where these smaller wins will actually also bring you much, much bigger wins. And number one is food. I actually don't think I've spoken in over 800 shows too much about food prep and how to go about it. We've spoken a little bit about how to shop, and just to revisit that, little techniques. And these are what I also class as a lot of small wins. If you can nail these, then you're winning. And these have an impact on how you look, feel, and perform, how you train, and the outcome of how efficient you are at work as well. Everything here that I'm speaking about today is 360 degrees holistically linked. Nothing is on its own. It is all absolutely linked. If you go to the grocery store hungry, you will buy bad food. You will then eat that bad food, and that then will cause a blockage in your digestive system. It could cause some brain fog. That blockage in your digestive system could cause you to underperform in either your sport or your work. Same with any kind of blockage in your neurological system within your brain through eating that bad food. So everything has a knock-on effect. People try and separate physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional. The faster that we can understand how closely linked and that these things cannot be compartmentalized, the better. Yes, we can compartmentalize the things that we do to try and positively impact them. That's for sure. And something like journaling doesn't have a massive direct impact on our physical state. Doesn't have a massive direct impact, but it does have numerous indirect impacts. So I get that some people like to try and compartmentalize, but honestly, it's all related. So number one, do not go to the grocery store hungry, because you will make bad choices. You'll buy the food that you don't want to buy, and you will probably eat the food as soon as you buy it. And if not, it'll still be in your trolley and you'll eat it later as well. Second thing is, do your grocery shopping in the key areas, which are normally the fruit and veg and the meat section. Stay away from everything else and get in and out. Play a game with yourself. See how fast you can get in and out of the grocery store. You should always have a list and have a plan of what you're going to eat, and therefore for the week, maybe for 2 weeks, maybe, and therefore you should be going to a grocery store with that plan. That's quite a big topic, and therefore maybe you think that's a big win, but these are definitely little small things that compounded will make a huge difference on your performance. Have a look into things such as how often you cook. A lot of people don't really like cooking. Why don't you like cooking? Is it the fact that you have to go to the grocery store? How could we maybe make that a little bit easier? Can you do your shopping online? Maybe you can, and maybe that will remove the temptation of going to the grocery store hungry. It will remove the temptation of buying shit you don't need to. It will remove the temptation of all of the crazy marketing stuff. It'll also save you a shit ton of time and make sure you only get what you want. So online shopping could be an option as well. As long as you're not replacing the time where you go to the grocery store with something bad. That's a whole other thing. Because actually when you go to a grocery store, you increase your step count, which is another small stroke, absolutely massive win if you're getting more steps in the day. So how often do you want to cook? That's a question that you've got to ask yourself, given that you want to eat healthy all the time. What does that mean? I know when Holly's not here, I cook 2 to 3 times a week. I'm super happy eating leftovers. A lot of people aren't happy eating leftovers. I'm also happy to cook one day, maybe freeze some stuff or have some stuff in the fridge for a couple of days, whereas other people have certain, I don't know if you call it hang-ups, but rules around that, phobias around that, bad experiences around that. So therefore they do not want to do it, which is totally understandable. However, there's going to be some fallout if you are in that kind of category. And in this situation, it's going to mean something like you're probably going to have to cook more often. So if you don't like cooking, you don't like leftovers, what have you got left? You've got options to order. You've got options to order. Maybe the food, you don't know where it's sourced. You don't know what the real ingredients are. It's going to cost you a lot more. Might not be healthy. There's a whole load of different things go down there as well. How often do you cook? Having a plan to go to the grocery store? Do you eat leftovers? These kind of small wins will bring you a massive win when it comes to performance in life. Another thing as well is thinking if you have what your tempters are and whether you actually buy them when it comes to food. Do you buy some food that isn't that great, and how do you use it? Do you have safety switches? So if you do come home hungry, what is your go-to? Is it a bag of Doritos? Why do you have them in the house in the first place? Because the kids want it. Oh, you want to make the kids fat now as well? That's cute as well. I won't go down that route. What do you have though when you're absolutely starving? Do you drive around with a bag of raw cashews in your car? Do you have access to a smoothie? All of these small things, which, as I said, I call almost like safety switches, safety catches that you can just switch on. You can open the fridge. It's there the whole time. It's super healthy, and it's going to fill that gap until you eat your dinner or your lunch or whatever's coming next. And at the same time, do you have food that maybe is reward food? Everyone treats cheat meals, reward meals a little bit different, which is totally understandable. I'm super happy to have a bar of chocolate in the fridge for 2 to 3 weeks. I have absolutely no problem. If I don't want to eat it, I won't eat it. It's there. If I feel like a piece of chocolate, it's there. It's a safety switch. It's there. It's not a tempter to me. Just because in the fridge, it doesn't mean I'll eat it all. I'll never eat, because I've got some weird unwritten rules. I'll never eat more than X amount. I won't share them with you right now, but hit me up one day and I'll tell you what the rules are. But all these tiny little things around food, around cheat meals, around reward meals. As a general rule, yes, removing the temptation from the house is a super, super good idea. However, if there's nothing there if you're using food as a reward because that's where you're at in your journey, whether I agree with it, whether I don't, it's not really a problem. However, if there's nothing there, then what's the next best alternative? Will you then order some crap food? In Dubai, you can order absolutely everything and anything. And would maybe having something there as a safety switch or as a reward food, would it be a healthier option and probably a lower calorie option? Have a think about that as well. So there's a whole load of small wins around food prep.